Hello, children, my brave, wonderful subscribers. We just got some big Yu-Gi-Oh! News about the new game mechanic for the new Arc V, Pendulum monsters. Yeah, so they're called Pendulum monsters. Now, I'm gonna talk about them. Because, right now we don't really have a lot of information on them. So, I thought it'd be fun to use this as an opportunity to talk about what my feelings of what they should be / could be before I actually learn about them. I made a video a little while back before X-Saber monsters came out. That was pretty much about my prediction of them. And it's kind of funny to look back on that to see what I saw before they actually came out. So I'm gonna do this little discussion thing. So let's start from the beginning, shall we? So when we first learned about Arc V, I knew there would probably be some new game mechanic, but I wasn't really expecting anything big at all. I was hoping that it wouldn't have anything to do with the extra deck, because there's enough of that. If they are going to add something for the extra deck, I was thinking a monster with a red background, because purple, white, and black is a weird color combination, but purple, white, black, and red would be a very balanced and good-looking combination. And I was hoping I figured it'd just be what the summoning condition is always printed on the card. It's different for each one. So just something that goes in the extra deck whose summoning condition isn't in the official rulebook. Kind of I guess you'd say, if Exceed and Synchros and Fusions are tribute monsters, these new monsters would be Destiny Hero Plasma or something. I don't know. I guess fusion monsters are kind of like that because there's no official way of summoning them. But anywho, I wasn't really expecting anything for the new game mechanic. But just the other day, my brother messaged me. Yeah, my brother messaged me and he was like, info on Pendulum monsters. And I got so excited. I was like, okay, well my first thought was Pendulum monsters. Good. I'm glad they chose a real word this time, because it's been 3 years and I'm still trying to figure out what the heck an Xyz is. I still have no idea. So cool, Pendulum. That sounds cool. Awesome. It was literally right before class, so I didn't have time to actually read the article he sent me, but I did click on it, and the only thing I saw was this picture. Boom. And that is it. Half monster, half magic. So, I didn't read the article. I just went to class, and yeah, I went to class, and now I'm sitting in class, not listening to the teacher, obviously, just thinking about what could this new mechanic be. So, okay, here's kind of what I thought. I thought, it's a monster and a magic, so maybe, it could be played in the monster zone or in the magic zone or something, or else, maybe it takes up 2 of the zones at the same time, let's say, here's monster card zone, here's the magic card zone. Yeah, the Pendulum monster could be played, in between the 2 zones, something like that. That's what I was thinking. Maybe. But whatever. I don't know. I was just thinking it'd be kind of cool. I like the idea that they're incorporating some extra magic card stuff involved, because I did actually bring that up to my brother. I was like, what if they made a new type of magic or trap card? But it's what else would they do? Nah, that's silly. But something that's both magic and monster, that's kind of neat. So okay, anywho, they didn't choose the red background that I was expecting, which is weird, because I thought everyone wanted to see a red background monster ever since Slifer was introduced in the first series. That would just be perfect. But no, this is it. Half monster, half magic. That was cool. So when I saw the half and half, my first thought was that, okay, so half effect monster, half magic card. What if, like, maybe they're going to do other backgrounds, like half monster, half trap. Or not even half effect monster, maybe half normal monster, half trap. Or maybe they'll even do half ritual, half trap. In fact, what if half of these monsters can be played in the normal deck and half can be played in the extra deck, you know? So we got half synchro, half trap, or half synchro, half magic, or even half Xyz and half magic, or half Xyz, half trap. Like my mind just went to like all these different combinations, and I was just like thinking, alright, that's kind of cool. Like, yeah, I couldn't really figure out like what it would do though, like other than like take up, maybe like they could be played in your spell card zone and like you can't kill them until you kill the front row or something. I don't know, something along those lines. Yeah, okay. But anyway, I eventually did read the article, and so I learned what it was all about. Basically, I guess what it looks like it's going to be is there are 2 new pendulum zones added to the field, one on the left, one on the right. So if you pay, you know, and those numbers over here are their pendulum, whatever, levels or whatever. So I don't know how it goes. Like, if I pay a level 1 pendulum monster and a level 4 pendulum monster, I can then summon as many pendulum monsters from my... No, I can summon as many monsters from my hand as, like, in between the 2 levels. So 1 and 4, I could summon level 2 and 3 monsters. So if I have 5 in my hand, I just summon 5, you know, monsters like that. And, like, boom, like, okay, like, not broken at all. But it looks like you could only do that once. I'm not sure if that means once per duel or once until one of them dies, and then you play another one and then do it again. It's probably the second one. But yeah, no one's really been speculating on this at all. But one thing I did notice that no one seemed to really pay attention to was this guy. His effect, he is not a pendulum monster, but his effect is when this card is pendulum summoned, you can blah blah blah. So that means you can pendulum summon monsters that aren't pendulum monsters. Such as, you know, like, you know, Card Trooper or whatever. So, okay, I think I get where this is going. So basically, the pendulum monsters that we are getting introduced to, they don't look like they're going to be the bosses, like the stars of the show of this new series. I'm thinking the bosses are going to be like just high-level monsters that are already in your hand. In fact, if you notice, no one uses tribute monsters anymore. It's basically an alternative way to get out tribute monsters. So cards like the Creator, I don't know, Demok, like really good like tribute monsters that no one uses because they're tribute monsters, you're going to be able to pendulum summon them. In fact, ritual monsters, they're bad. Let's let the people pendulum summon ritual monsters. It's just an alternative way of getting out those high-level monsters that no one uses anymore. So they're Konami, like, they're probably trying to, like, you know, bring these back into the game. Now, the explanation did say something about the extra deck, like when a pendulum monster dies, it gets put face up in the extra deck. I think that's kind of lame because no one wants to use the extra deck that way. They like to be able to just like call upon it. Like when fusion monsters were the only thing that existed, I thought, yeah, it'd be cool to like have an interactive extra deck, but I don't like the idea of an interactive extra deck with the game like nowadays. But anyway, And I'm pretty sure the only way you could summon a Pendulum monster is from your extra deck. So if it was like MST'd on the field, like it's pretty much you play it in the Pendulum zone, MST it, goes in the extra deck, play another Pendulum monster to Pendulum summon it from the extra deck. That seems complicated. But if you can Pendulum summon from the extra deck, and I don't think this is going to happen, but if you can Pendulum summon from the extra deck, I imagine fusion monsters, you can Pendulum summon those from the extra deck, because no one uses fusions anymore either. In fact, even synchros like aren't as big a deal as they used to be. So you can, I'm hoping that you'll be able to Pendulum summon synchros from the extra deck. Of course, you can't do it with X-Sabers because they don't have levels; they have ranks, obviously. But that's fine because X-Sabers are already broken anyway. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Oh, another thing that I think would be cool is like you can Pendulum summon Pendulum monsters from the extra deck. Like, you should be able to summon monsters from the extra deck using the Pendulum summon. Like, you could do it from the extra deck or your hand. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. So, basically, you use the Pendulum monsters that you draw from your deck in order to summon in the Pendulum fashion. So, I'm thinking that, like you can start off with some Pendulum monsters in your deck or some in your extra deck. And, like, so when you have a Pendulum monster like that you got from a booster pack, you're like, okay, I could either put this in my extra deck or in my main deck, and like that adds like extra strategy to deck building, which like because strategy in deck building I think is like just as cool as strategy during the game as well. So that definitely adds extra diversity there, you know. Because like it's also like, okay, I got a middle, like a level 4 Pendulum monster. So I could either use this as a high Pendulum monster or a low one. Summon low level monsters or high level monsters between 4 and 12 or between 1 and 4. Like, which direction do I want to go? So they could be used differently that way. So it seems like a lot of strategy and it seems really cool. I think that, okay, I'm actually not expecting you to be able to Pendulum summon from the Pendulum deck, from the extra deck, because they didn't mention anything about that. But I mean, I do think that you'll be able to do it with like tribute monsters and ritual monsters. Actually, you probably will, because like, look, they released a new fusion that's coming out, a new ritual monster that's coming out, a new synchro that's coming out, and blah blah blah. So it makes me think that they want to create a new way of us summoning these creatures, because like, basically the Pendulum monsters aren't going to be like the synchros or the X-Sabers of this generation. They're going to be like the tuners of this generation, and the main guys taking the stages are going to be the old tribute monsters, the ritual monsters, the fusion monsters, the synchro monsters. Because it's weird that they're starting off a new series with such diversity. X-Sabers, synchro, ritual, fusion. Like, they're going to use this diversity in the show. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm not really sure. We'll see how it goes. I'm still kind of hoping that they do half monster, half trap, like a trap Pendulum monster, because if they don't do that, like, what's the point of making the monster look half and half in the first place? You know? Because so far they seem like they're their own monster. Like, they're not being played in the spell card. They're Pendulum monsters. So, like, I feel like they could have just used the red background for this. Like, they could have. I don't know why they didn't. Unless they are going to add variation, which I hope they do, because that would be really cool. But, like if it's like a trap Pendulum monster, like it'd be cool. Maybe it's like if you could set a trap card, or set a back row, or whatever. Let's say it's like Mirror Schwartz or something. Your opponent attacks like, I activate Mirror Schwartz, and like it's actually a trap pendulum monster, and basically it like the trap effect activates, it kills the opponent's monster, and then after it resolves, it goes to the pendulum zone and does its pendulum business. That if they did a trap variation of pendulum, that would make sense. If not, I don't know how that would work. Set it in the pendulum zone, like what? Like I don't know, but that'd be cool because it'd be like if you set a back row, like you're like, oh, did my opponent set a pendulum monster back there? Maybe I'll blind MST it just in case, or like I feel like it's really complicated, but it's going to add a lot of extra weird strategy. I think this is different from what everyone was expecting, but yeah. I think I said everything I wanted to say. So those are my predictions / what I want. Lyle, if you're watching this, do a video of what you think. Okay, bye.